Evet, misafirlerimizi bekliyoruz. Waiting for our guests, our followers. There will be a very, very beautiful talk today about the event industry. We have a very, very special guest from Europe today. So, Maarten, I will connect you in few minutes. First, let me introduce you. Our special guest from Europe is Maarten Schram today. Let me introduce Maarten Schram to all of you. He is the founder and the managing director of LiveComAlliance and European Institute for Live Communication. His organization serves 9 national organizations and affecting over 750 leading agencies around Europe. Maarten is also a jury member and involved in the advisory board of several national and international awards and events. We will talk about what is expecting the event industry in Europe and the ways to exit from crisis post-COVID-19. Let's see if he has sent us. Yes, he has sent us. Yeah, so we will connect in few minutes to Maarten Schram, a very, very special guest. Hi, Maarten. How
Hello.
are you?
Hi, I'm good.
Thank you
I'm
for
very
your
good.
participation.
It's a pleasure to be in your interview.
Thank you. Thank you. You know, TUED is the International Events Association of Turkey, and we are trying to host international names here in our TUED Talks. We call these talks TUED Talks.
Okay.
And you are our second guest after Ellingham, so you know.
I know. Okay. Well, Elling is a dear friend of mine, known for a long time, so it's an honor to be in your, let's say, show.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Let me also, I already introduced you to our followers, but I will also introduce you in Turkish. Sorry for that.
No problem.
For the ones who are not able to follow English very fluently.
Okay.
Maarten Schram Avrupa'da çok önemli bir isim, Avrupa Etkinlik Endüstrisinde. Kendisi Avrupa'daki tüm etkinlik derneklerini bir çatı altında buluşturmayı başarmış bir isim. LiveComAlliance'ın kurucusu ve yöneticisi. Kendisi aynı zamanda uluslararası etkinliklerin çok önemli bir ismi. Çünkü jürilerinde bulunuyor. Pek çok etkinlik ve yarışmanın ve aynı zamanda da danışma heyetlerinde yer alıyor. Bugün kendisiyle Avrupa'da etkinlik endüstrisini konuşacağız. Onlar ne durumdalar? So I'm still waiting for the followers to come and because not everybody are on time, you know, everybody is on several meetings, and so we will talk just a few words about can you tell us what LiveComAlliance is, what is the purpose, and you know, what does it serve for?
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a pleasure. Again, well, I think it was about 5 years ago, and as you mentioned, I was in an advisory board for an international award, and I met my colleagues from all over Europe twice a year, and every time we sit down and we talked, and it was so inspiring, and I learned so much from my colleagues from other countries, and I brought those insights back home because I'm also running the Dutch Association here in the Netherlands for event agencies. So that was very, let's say, valuable. And I discovered that there was no proper connection between those associations, chairman and managing directors like myself. So I thought, okay, maybe we should start some kind of, well, federation of associations. And it took us some time to, and we had some discussions about it. And well, long story short, on my way back at another meeting in my plane, I thought of the name, and I tried to somehow written the concept for this alliance. So LiveComAlliance was founded February 2016, so about 4 years ago, and the main aim is to connect those associations. So, and therefore connect all those national markets within the pan-European scope. on this continent. Secondly, to inspire each other with knowledge, with insights, experience, and learn from it. So all those members could take that information back home and improve their products and services.
That's wonderful.
That was the first aim.
Oh, great.
And secondly,
so how do you connect them? I mean, do you do events, or do you do,
Yes.
what do you do to connect them to each other?
Well, we do several things. Obviously, in normal times, we meet live about 3 to 4 times a year, mostly during, for example, Beer World Festival, also during IMEX and some other occasions all over Europe, depending on what events are there. And I also try to visit the national, for example, awards or conference, and sometimes we try to gather with as many as possible during that kind of events, or those kinds of events, sorry. So events is one, and obviously we're also connected online, and we exchange information also by, for example, email and all social platforms. So besides the connection, about 1.5 years ago, we decided, okay, quite of an informal alliance is a good thing and it's working, but somehow we could make one other extra step. So therefore we decided to really establish an independent European Institute for Live Communications, because there is none. And we did the European Industry Survey from the start, from the first year. But if you want to be an authority, an independent institution, you should have a proper market research. So last year we did the first one with the Rifle Institute from Germany, who had quite a very extensive research project, and it was very valuable. So that's also an important thing.
That's very important, because in our industry it's so hard to find researchers, and
Exactly. And the first 3 years,
we need statistics, we cannot have those. It's very important. That's so good. Yeah.
So the first 3 years we just tried to gather all the local market research projects we could find, and then try to benchmark that. And last year, for the first time, we did a proper online survey with this institute through our members. Yeah.
So there should be a lot of brainstorming among you, a lot of brainstorming, you are meeting each other, and it's lovely. I always believe in brainstormings, because even in these live shows, I do a lot of live shows in my personal account, in my company account, and from TUED official account. And, I learned so many things during these live shows. It's kind of a brainstorming,
it's
it
very
opens your eyes.
No, definitely. I fully agree. And of course, this works. And we know Zoom sessions or Google Hangouts or Instagram interviews or whatever, it works. However, I know from experience now that our live meetings are more effective, obviously, because you have some extra time, you stay another night, and the next morning you can continue your conversation. That really works. And for example, we exchange a lot of things. For example, on educational, young talent, how could we attract them to our industry? How could we retain them within our companies? Because it's a stressful job, as we know, and a stressful industry. How do you attract new members, etc., etc. A lot of stuff you can exchange and brainstorm about. Yeah, true.
That's lovely. I hope we will be a part of your LiveComAlliance one day.
Welcome. Yeah, hopefully it would be great. It would be great.
It would be wonderful. It would be wonderful. That's why we are doing this session, because I would like everybody and all of our members get to know what LiveComAlliance is.
Okay.
It's a great success. And we know that you have many members from different European countries. Could you please give us a brief summary about the current situation of the event industry in Europe? And also, what are you expecting? What will be the differences in post-COVID-19?
Yeah, it's a good question. It's also a bit difficult one. What you see is, obviously, in general, we saw that our industry was the first to drop out, to stop. And unfortunately for most of us, to a full stop. And we will be probably the last come in again and start up again. So the situation is really, really severe, to be honest. What we did from the start, from this crisis, well, on the European continent, obviously, when it started in Italy, and then, well, then it spread out, obviously. The first time in LiveComAlliance setting, what we did is, okay, ask all our associations, and we made an inventory of, okay, what did you do as association? What are your association initiatives? Also, again, to share and to learn. Okay, this action in Switzerland was very successful. Okay, good to know. I can implement it in Spain, as an example. And we also made an inventory of government measures, and that's obviously interesting because then you can see what all governments are doing for specific our industry, and it varies a little bit, of course. And in general, you see that the measurements on government level are more or less the same. But again, there are some differences, and the inventory was the first step. The second step, what we did was join forces and try to connect in Brussels to the European Union and try to get attention for the situation in our industry. Secondly, try to pinpoint the difficult situation because all the differences in all the countries. So as an appeal to the EU, okay, try to get all those measurements in line. Yeah. And our last paper, that was our second paper about 3 weeks ago, was about, okay, you need our industry and we need live events to recover after post-corona, so to say. So back to your question, we see a lot of differences. Obviously, the situation everywhere is really severe, and expecting job losses and bankruptcy all over the place. It's unfortunately we cannot avoid, I think. And thirdly, the situation post-COVID. Yeah, well, that's an interesting one because what we know now is we need to protect and preserve the whole ecosystem of our industry. So, for example, in the Netherlands, I'm representing the agencies, the event agencies, but our industry is not only about agencies. It's all about technical companies and catering companies and
vendors, everything.
Freelancers, venues, etc., etc. And our message here also in the Netherlands is, okay, we should protect the whole ecosystem, but otherwise we cannot start up again after this crisis. So, yeah, well, let's see what the psychological effects are of this crisis on people's minds and how they think if it's safe to go back to events again.
Yeah.
Hope it is.
Yeah. What do you think about post-COVID-19? I mean, will it be, some people say that we will come back, the industry will come back at the beginning of 2021. Somebody says even 2022. Do you have any crystal ball?
No.
Do you see?
no crystal ball at LiveComAlliance. That would be amazing. No, well, I think, again, what I mentioned already is what you see is that more or less all the European countries are trying to start up again. So events in gatherings in small amounts of people are allowed already or allowed very soon. So what we're probably going to see is, okay, they're going to try up to 100, up to 250, up to 500, and maybe hopefully somewhere during summer, end of summer, direction of thousands and more. And then it's try and error, try to see, okay, what's happening? Is COVID still in control? And can we expand the numbers? So hopefully we are probably back in business, some kind back in business from this summer, but as probably in every European country, with a lot of restrictions on safety and hygiene and social distancing, etc. So the problem is we are back in business, but business-wise, it's not that interesting. Yeah. Because we need so much space for so less people. We have to invest in all those measurements. It will be challenging. And if you look at the studies at this moment, expectations are that the industry will be back on a level, quite normal level, somewhere second quarter 2021 is what we see and what we hear. But again, I have no crystal ball. I really hope earlier. But again, it will be challenging.
Yeah, I know. So what are the recovery plans for the event industries in those countries in Europe? Do they have any recovery plans?
Yeah, well, a good question. We started a second inventory on exactly this last week. As we know for sure, in Holland we got one. And again, we call that an event protocol. So it's quite an extensive document with all those, guidelines and measurements, as I mentioned, safety, hygiene, crowd control, etc., etc. Same in Belgium. They made an event risk matrix, quite a good and extensive document that will be published by LiveComAlliance and shared with the members, I hope, next week. Because in Belgium, the government accepted this method for all events, so that's really a good achievement.
Yeah.
And in Germany, they have also such a process on the way. So in all the other countries are probably working on it in order to really open up with permission.
Yeah, I think Italy and Spain had a lot of trouble. Do you know any plan about these countries? Because they were, they were very popular for the event industry as a destination. So I also think, what's gonna happen to those countries?
Yeah, well, they for sure they are working on protocols and measurements in order to get back in business, because obviously both countries are struck very badly by this virus and by this crisis. So it's really unfortunate, because they're beautiful countries, both great destinations to travel to and to have your events. So hopefully and probably they will also be back with this kind of protocols, but I not received it yet.
Yeah. So what role do your members in your association play in the recovery plans? I mean, how does being a member of the Alliance help them in their recovery?
Well, I think the most important thing is back to the origin of the LiveComAlliance, and is we share that kind of vision and documents, and by sharing those insights you can learn from it and just pick the interesting and good things out of it and apply it to your own national market. So I think that's the most important thing. We talk on this very regularly. We have a WhatsApp group. We stay in touch with each other, and just try to learn from each other, see what's happening in those countries, and be able to adapt quickly. I think that's the most important thing.
Yeah. You believe that? I know we have talked before in Zoom, we had meeting, and I know that you believe in live is the best and sustainable way to communicate. So how do you think we will continue with this in new normal?
Yeah, that's an interesting one. Yes, of course, it's a bit speaking about my own industry and about my own passion. So maybe it's not that objective. But then again, I really believe the words these are the words from our mission statement. So yes, I do. I think if you look at history, you see that all great ideas and all good relationships start with a live moment. So obviously we need live, and we worked so hard over the 3-4 past decades to get live communication or events or whatever you name it as a real serious channel in the marketing communication strategies. And we are there already, a bit of depending on the country, more or less, but more or less in most countries, events are really established as a serious and acknowledged channel and medium. And again, what I also mentioned is the question is, what will the psychological effect will be of this crisis? Because yes, all these kind of tools and meetings, it works. It's quite effective and efficient. We don't have to travel. We don't have to stay in hotels. So it's also budget-wise interesting. But at the same time, I feel for myself the hunger to meet people live And it's not only business-wise; it's also friends, family, and you also see in all those countries where, because some countries were really restricted, like Italy, for example, and from the moment they are let out again and freed from their homes, they run to their relatives and friends and beloved ones. And also business-wise, I had as you have probably yourself, I have all those calls, all those days, and it was for the first time this week, when some people are mentioning, okay, we should meet live soon, so let's do our next meeting live. And also based on the goal of your meeting, because this was some kind of brainstorm you're mentioning. Brainstorming is important but if it's like vulnerable topics or interesting topics, it's much better to do it live. And yes, so, and sharing emotions, creating emotions, sharing them, an experience live with other people, and then share your feelings about it. That's only possible live. So yes, I'm a believer.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, good. That's good.
I think when I was talking with Elling Hamso, Dr.
Yes.
Elling Hamso, he was saying me that just look at the silver line. There will be another industry inside the event industry rising. This is the digital events. So of course live events will survive, he told me. Yeah. But there will be another line of events, which will be the digital events. But humans are social beings. They want to interact. They want to have an experience together. I think digital events, they do not have experience. They do not offer experience to us. Yeah. Don't you think so? So we need also experience.
Well, yeah, I saw the interview with Elling, and I heard the silver lining part. A good one. He's a very smart and wise gentleman. But no, but I think I agree with Elling, but it's not. It doesn't start now. This starts already a few years ago. But now, due to this crisis, it's totally in our face. It's so obvious we cannot ignore it any longer, because I think that it's true that some events will be held in a hybrid setting. Why not? Why all the traveling? It's not only, it's for sustainability, for effectiveness. It could be really also possible to combine those things. And I already saw amazing tools and techniques who are also able to, approach the experience feeling from your screen or sitting in your home or in your office. So I think there are possibilities, and yes, I think some digital parts of events are here to stay in our industry. That's for sure.
Yeah. Let me just, in few words, talk in Turkish,
yes.
If you permit me, because I was excited. I forgot to translate the first 5 questions.
Yeah, please do so.
No
problem at all. Go ahead.
Şimdi ben LiveComAlliance'ı anlatmasını istedim Maarten Schram'den. Çünkü çok güzel bir oluşum. Bütün Avrupa'daki etkinlik derneklerini ve ajanslarını bir araya getiren bir çatı oluşturmuş. Biz Türkiye'de bunu epeydir düşlüyoruz. Etkinlikçiler bilir. Bir sürü etkinlik derneği var ama bir çatıda toplanamıyoruz. Bazen çok önemli bir kriz için toplanabiliyoruz. Bunun faydası nedir diye sordum. Bir kere yılda birkaç kere event yapıyorlar. IMAX'te buluşuyorlar, IBTM'de buluşuyorlar. Pek çok ayrıca kendileri etkinlik yapıyorlar. Online olarak da birbirleriyle görüşüyorlar ve dolayısıyla büyük bir fikir fırtınası ve birbirleriyle bilgi alışverişi var. Bu çok önemli. Avrupa'daki durumu sordum. Avrupa'daki durum şu anda Belçika'da ve sanırsam Hollanda'da devletler bir takım stratejiler çiziyorlar. Dolayısıyla başlamışlar çalışmaya bu krizin altından, üstünden çıkmak için, öyle söyleyelim. Yine şeyi sordum. Peki ne zaman iyileşeceğini düşünüyorsun? bu sektörün. Tabii o da herkes gibi 2021'in ikinci yarısından evvel çok büyük bir düzelme beklemiyor. Maalesef sektörümüzün gördüğü şu ana kadarki en büyük krizin içerisinde istiyor kendisi de. Peki dedim, canlı etkinliklerin savunucususun sen. Canlı etkinlikler hakkındaki düşüncen ne? Ne olacak canlı etkinlikler? Tabii ki devam edecek. Bunun devam edeceğine inanıyorum. Hiçbir zaman dijitalin yerini alamaz diye bir cevap verdi. Sorry to interrupt.
No problem.
So I'm going on with my questions to you. So, do you have any idea what will be the percentage of digital events taking the place of live events in the future?
That's a good one. Again, I have no glass ball, but again, if you look at the most recent studies, I saw that, for example, if you look at the industry now here in Holland, for example, just as an example, we see that only 18% of the events are changed from live into digital or online. But that's for now, because obviously live events are prohibited. And again, as I mentioned as an answer to your question before, I think that there will be events left more like in a hybrid setting. So it will be a mix of live events, definitely the majority, smaller part hybrid events with a combination, and maybe some digital events. But again, I saw some innovations on augmented reality. And we're going to use this in the Netherlands for our experience conference. By the end of this summer, it will be a hybrid event, and for the plenary part with the speakers, we will use a totally augmented reality environment, just to check and use it as a pilot to our members and the industry. But it looks amazing, and the techniques are amazing. And but again, as you mentioned, it's also without the real emotion,
Yeah.
the real experience. So so no, percentage is hard to say, but it will be definitely it's definitely here to stay in our. So we need to understand the techniques. You need as an event, because event professionals, the DNA of an event professional is creative, hard work, flexible, and more or less it's about craftsmanship. Organizing live events and organizing effective experiences, it's about craftsmanship. And what I see with the entrepreneurs also here in the Netherlands, but also all over Europe, we have to adapt a little and be more, well, online digital focused and understand other ways of communication too, in order to help our clients.
Yeah.
Last week I heard for the first time that their clients send out pitches for new offers. And they asked for 3 offers, one fully digital, one hybrid, and one offer for a live event.
Oh,
that's interesting, eh? And you should be able to handle that as an agency or as an organizer.
We should learn. We will learn.
Yes.
We will learn.
Yeah.
Also, we have to learn. Yeah. Maybe we will change our vendors, I mean, not change. I mean, we will add, more technical. Maybe we will add technical departments to our, companies.
Could
or
be
digital.
Yeah, could be. And what you also see is that obviously all involved stakeholders in the industry are pushed to innovate. So also technical companies, also caterers, venues, everyone is thinking and trying to adapt.
Yeah.
In order to be alive at the end of this crisis, and be able to serve clients from that moment on. Yes,
you're right. So we have to create a positive perception in communication strategies, collaborating with event agencies, vendors, and social stakeholders. Do you have any idea how can we create this?
Yeah, it's a good question, and yes, we need that. I think it's a combination of a few things. More or less, I think we should start with the importance of live communication. I already sent out some examples. The importance of sharing experiences, creating emotions, but also creating content and be able to distribute your content during an event is a really important asset of live events. So I think that's one big part. So we should address again to the whole world how important, relevant, and valuable live meetings are. That's one. Secondly, we should comfort them by explaining them that we are able to do this safely. And if we could prove that with event protocols, as we already talked about, safety measurements, safety instructions, people will hopefully understand, okay, if the industry is ready, and if one industry knows how to organize things, we are. Yeah. Because event people are the best organizers in the world. So we could really prove and show that. And I think maybe that are the two most important components of a campaign. And secondly, or thirdly, I mean, it would be best to add emotions to the campaign, so that they really feel, oh yes, that's what I'm missing. That's what I missed over the past month, and now I want it back. So yes, we're gonna do events again.
So I think our customers should feel very comfortable while doing live events, you know. So we should give this sense of comfort to them, I think.
Yes, definitely. And if we could prove that with market research studies and data, that obviously would be best. So hopefully we will be able to deliver that also by the end of this crisis.
Yeah. So are you doing something about this within LiveComAlliance? I mean, do you have any written texts or, you know, any ethics or anything? Are you working on it as LiveComAlliance?
Yeah. Well, again, what we did is regarding this is two things. The inventory on association initiatives and government measures was the first one, but it's really for information during the crisis. For post-COVID, we are, as I mentioned, doing the second inventory now, and that's really focused on the safety protocols and event protocols in order to be back in business. So that's really a crucial part for LiveComAlliance to provide to our members, and hopefully to the whole industry, by the way, because we have to survive. We have to all of us have to survive this crisis. Yeah. And what I'm hoping for is that we can find again at this point I have only 3 of those protocols. I hope and I expect to have hopefully 9 on my desk soon, and then we hope to synthesize that information and create some kind of common ground and general message from it, and that we could share with the members and the industry. As help, as tool to exit this.
It would be wonderful if you could share. Let me just a bit translate in Turkish again.
No problem.
Somebody asked just how can we obtain these documents as a PCO? They ask.
Obtain the documents?
Yes.
And what documents are they referring to?
I mean, the documents that you are having the
protocols, event protocols.
Protocols and things.
Well, hopefully we can publish soon. As I mentioned again, it's now on my desk only for 3 countries. Some of them are still under embargo, so they are not ready to be published, but hopefully soon. And I'm not sure if is there already such a process started up in Turkey for your industry?
In the hotel side, yes. The hotels started to publish how they are going to solve the situation. And actually, in June, most of the hotels will start doing events. I don't know how many they will do, but they will start. But of course, with social distance and with many regulations, and but for the event industry, there is not yet one. We are just still brainstorming, and we are trying to hear. We are waiting what the government will say, what the hotels will say, and it will take some time.
Yeah, I can imagine. Well, as soon as I have the English documents, I would be able to share those with you.
It would be lovely. It would help us a lot. I always say we are all in the same boat, you know.
True. That's definitely true. Yeah.
Yeah, let me translate in few words in Turkish.
Yeah, no problem.
Şimdi her ülkenin çeşitli dokümanlar hazırlıyor. Her ülke protokoller hazırlıyor. Tekrar etkinliklere, canlı etkinliklere geri dönebilmek için. Bunun çok güzel bir soru geldi Yasemin Hanım'dan demin. Ne yapabiliriz? Bu dokümanlardan biz de faydalanabilir miyiz? Daha çok yeni bunlar diyor Maarten ve dolayısıyla biz diyor bunu sizlerle en kısa zamanda paylaşmayı isteriz. Biz de TUED Official olarak mutlaka bunların sektörde yayınlanmasına da yardımcı oluruz. Dolayısıyla bu arada dijital etkinlikler sence dedim ne kadar yerini alacaktır canlı etkinliklerin? Çok fazla alacağını zannetmiyorum diyor. Tabii ki bizim öğrenmemiz gerekiyor. Bütün çözüm ortaklarımızla beraber dijital etkinlikleri de öğrenip bunu bir alternatif olarak müşterilerimize sunmamız gerekiyor. Ama canlı etkinliklerin kesinlikle kalacağına Maarten çok inanıyor. I have questions about Turkey for you,
Okay.
Maarten. I haven't, this is a new question.
Okay.
As you know, Turkey has been very successful in managing the pandemic period with its professional and equipped health system. You know, we have very less cases now,
Okay.
even though
Good.
we are a very crowded country.
Okay.
Because we have a lot of good hospitals, good doctors, and a very well equipped. This situation showed all of us this. You know, even me, I was not believing. I have my son in Canada, and I told him, "Don't come here. You know, I don't know how my country will handle this pandemic. Stay there." But you know,
did a very good job, though.
Yeah,
okay.
But they did a very good job here. Yeah. Now we cannot return.
No, that's the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, do you think this will affect bringing international events to Turkey in the future? Because, you know, people will feel more comfortable about our health and equipped system. What do you think?
Yeah. Yes, in general, I would say that obviously it helps people's in their minds if they see on the news and read in the papers and online that some countries are doing better than others. They really will feel more safe and will be feel more easy to travel again. Again, traveling is the second component for an important component of our industry. Obviously, definitely regarding the international events, because we know somewhere during the summer it's now also buzzing. Okay, where could we go on holidays, and do we go on holidays again? And do we do it by car, by train, by plane? And so when that whole system is back on its feet, and we can fly again, then people can think, okay, where do I bring my guests? However, I expect international events to be affected more severe than national events, obviously, because people are somehow let's say careful with bringing their people to other countries, just from risk point of view.
Yeah.
But again, I think it helps. Obviously, it will help the Turkish market that they did a good job. If that is communicated and that it's shown, then people will feel more safe in the hotels and etc. Yes.
That's good to hear. You know, sometimes we need some positive.
Of course.
Everybody needs that.
Yes.
How would you like the global event industry look like in the future? After 5 years, after 10 years?
Yeah, that's a good and also an interesting question. Again, I already mentioned it before. I think we should really, I hope and I think that this crisis, on the positive side, if there's a positive side, and there's always a positive side, helps us to evolve. a little bit
Yeah.
and bring this industry further again to the next level. If you look around us globally, there are some quite traditional parts of our industry and not that effective. And I hope that this helps us to evolve those parts of the industry into more dynamic, more innovative parts of our industry. So hopefully it will push us forward. That's for one. And I think in 5 years we will be some levels on the ladder higher. And this is also in regarding to the topic of Elling, effectiveness. It will be of huge importance for all of us to understand this and to show that it's working. And especially due to this crisis, I think clients will be more critical and keen on, okay, if we do bring our people to destination X, what will it bring us? So I think we will be in 5 years our industry will have a more innovative character. I hope we can lose some old traditional parts of our industry, and
I think there is an internet. I cannot. Now I hear. Yeah. I just lost your last two sentences. There was an internet connection disconnection.
Okay.
Let's say the last two sentences.
I hope that I hope and expect that that live communication and events is, as it is established, as I mentioned it earlier in the interview, as it is established as a known and accepted channel and medium. I expect it will be worldwide, the situation.
Yeah. You know, in Turkish there is a saying,
okay.
What doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Yeah.
So, you know, if we will still survive in 5 years, we will be much stronger as an industry, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
Because if we are still surviving, you know, if we have been struggling with this pandemic and we are still surviving with our teams, with our work, with our projects, then we will be much stronger. We'll go on much stronger.
Yeah, definitely. And I think if we are a little bit critical to ourselves, we also maybe need this, because as I mentioned before, we are workers.
Yes.
Creative people and really workers in creating huge projects, loads of work, huge stress, and we, especially due to this crisis, we are it demands entrepreneurship, it demands innovation, more creativity, and I think that will also push us forwards on that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me just translate a few words in Turkish, then I'll go to my next question.
Right.
Evet, Martin'in söylediklerini biraz Türkçe olarak tam takip edemeyen takipçilerimiz için anlatayım. Türkiye'nin bu sağlık sistemiyle bu dönemi çok güzel yönettiğinden bahsettim. Acaba dedim bu bizim için pozitif bir yani bizim etkinlik endüstrimiz için bu destinasyonun tercih edilmesinde pozitif bir etkisi olur mu? Kesinlikle olur dedi. Tabii ki insanlar çünkü ilk önce konfora çok dikkat edecektir dedi. Dolayısıyla Türkiye ile ilgili inşallah güzel şeyler olacağını ben de çok umuyorum sevgili dostlarım. Somebody asks me a question, my friend Pansy from Mexico. You know, we even have followers from Mexico today.
Wow. Very good.
She asks me, I have a luxury wedding company, so she asked me if there are any regulations about the weddings in Turkey. I would like to answer my friend Pansy. Yes, there are. The hotels starting from 1st of June, they will be having small weddings. With the June, July, still, we are waiting to hear from our government, but the hotel regulations are ready. So we know the social distancing, the new plans are on our way. We are ready for the events and weddings. I hope they will come back very soon. There was another question for you here. Just let me look at it. Paula 8A asks us, how much time did it take from quarantine to reactivate the events?
Well, it's depending on the country, I think.
Yeah.
For example, here in the Netherlands, it's about, I think the average is about 3 or 4 months. I think in the Netherlands it's March, April, May, June. Yeah, for us is it 3 months? And opening up for groups up to 30 people, so 30, that's really small. For June 1st, and then 100 from July 1st.
Yeah.
But all the public events, for example, all the huge public events are prohibited up to September 1st and probably the rest of the year. So that's really dramatic situation.
Oh, wow.
But again, it varies per country.
Do you have any help from the government, for instance, about the salaries of your team and anything? Did you receive any? You're lucky, because we had only 3 months.
Okay.
After that, they say, okay, we are opening the hotels.
All right.
But nobody does events,
Okay, no, exactly. Okay, well, I know from our inventory that more or less every country has some kind of salary compensation. The question is for how long, of course. And I think for most European countries, it was about 3 months. For example, here in the Netherlands, it was confirmed yesterday that we have another 3 months.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah. And we are also aiming for specific extra industry support. Not only, by the way, in the Netherlands, but also in LiveComAlliance setting, we go for that on European scale. But obviously, that will be really hard to get acknowledged and be effective on that. But we're trying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see. So I have a question. How do you see Turkey in the pan-Europe geography? How do you see our industry?
Well, that's a good question. Obviously, politically, there's quite a complex relationship. However, Turkey has always been a huge, important partner on this continent. So, and if I look at the industry, I know, especially in my role as a jury member from some where I've seen some amazing projects winning lots of awards. So I think it's a country, a beautiful country, who is part of the, again, pan-European industry on this continent, and therefore it would be really nice that you could join our alliance and be part of it and start also sharing your insights, and we can help you out with all the information and the network. Because what I forgot to mention, but one other really great asset of LiveComAlliance, the network, is that we also exchange people who can be speakers, for example, on your national events, or could be jury members in your national awards. We are all exchanging each other. That's
lovely. This is my last question.
Okay.
We have been talking about 50 minutes. Can you
imagine? So long. Time flies when you're having fun.
Yes. Huh? So we all know that you have been at the jury and advisory board of several national and international awards and events. Which qualification do you think gives the biggest value to a live event? Being unique, most technological, or being most inspirational one? Which one?
It's hard to choose. Honestly, for me personally, it was always a combination of creativity, and I'm a real believer of the craftsmanship of our industry. Recently, I spoke to a Spanish friend in the industry, and he called us artisans.
Yes,
That's a
that's
really
true.
great word, a really great wording for what we do. So for me, it's creativity. If you see if it's just smart and lovely done, and I want to see the craftsmanship in an event. And obviously, you look at target audiences. What are the aims of the event, and did they really succeed with the event? So was it effective? Let's say. So it's not only huge, big, a million budget projects are interesting. It could be really small, but if it's totally, how to say, totally fitting the targets, I love it too. So it's more like those factors which are important to me.
Yeah, that's lovely. Yeah. Artisan. I love that word, artisans.
Yeah, me too.
Let me just explain this in
Yeah.
Turkish. I don't want to miss this.
Okay.
Şeyi sordum. Yani çünkü Maarten bir sürü jüri üyeliği var. Pek çok ödül töreninin dünyaca yani önemli etkinlik sektörünün ödül törenlerinin, etkinliklerinin danışma kurulunda. Peki dedim, sence bir etkinliği yani neye göre notluyorsun, puanlıyorsun? Yani nedir onu en öne çıkaran? Çok güzel bir söz söyledi. Artizan yani çok yaratıcılık, artla ilgili, sanatla ilgili olması çok önemli. Yani bir tür el sanatı gibidir, craftsmanship'tir dedi. Bunu dedi gözlemlediğim zaman bence bir etkinlik son derece dedi değerli oluyor benim için dedi. Dolayısıyla artizan lafını kaçırmak istemedim. Sizlerle paylaşmak istedim. Gerçekten ben çok artla, sanatla iç içe, yaratıcılıkla çok ilgili bulurum yaptığım işi. Zanaatkar demekmiş. Bak, birisi çok güzel söyledi. Zanaatkar demekmiş. Zanaatkarız. Bizler birer zanaatkarız. La Bonbonnière Events asks a question. What do you think about the exaggeration in the events?
Exaggeration. So they mean that
too much.
Too much.
Everything is too
Yeah,
much.
well,
You know, because in Middle East, everything is too much sometimes.
Okay. Well, probably the crisis will help on this point. But
For sure.
Yeah, but I don't mean this in the wrong way. But again, people will be maybe. I expect people to be more thoughtful by initiating events. So probably some of the events will be left out. So that helps a little, probably. And I think it's also, I mentioned it before also in your jury question. It's about the impact you make with your event. And I know it's kind of a cliche, the word is a cliche, but also if you look at a wedding, obviously you need an event to celebrate your wedding. And it's not about, well, as much as champagne and stuff. It's about not only for the bride and groom, but also for all attendees, that they never forget that day or that evening. And it's the same for a business event or a public event. So back to the previous question, it should all be in place, and I think that helps to maybe and some professionals in the industry are maybe like to overdo things, entertainment wise or decoration wise, or it should be fitting. It should be fitting. I think that's the most important thing. So it probably will help. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Somebody asks from Mexico, how can we join LiveComAlliance from Mexico?
That's a very good question. And I'm just send me an email or reach out to me by the website. For now, because we're only existing 4 years, it was a pan-European scope. But, and this is a scoop, I'm working on a new initiative, hopefully starting end of this summer, and that will be global.
Great.
So maybe, and that's something different, by the way, than LiveComAlliance, obviously, because the institute is in place and should only be elaborated more and more. But reach out to me and let's see where this can bring us. Will be great.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Thank you so much. The last few minutes, it was a great pleasure being with you.
Pleasure all mine.
Your ideas. Do you want to add anything?
No, again, pleasure is all mine. And thanks again for the invitation. It was a real honor to be in your interview.
Oh, thank you.
And hopefully it helps the listeners with the information and and hope to welcome you soon from Turkey. And hope
yes,
to be...
we'll be always in touch and we'll be a part of LiveComAlliance as soon as possible, I hope. We'll be always in touch. Thank you so much for your participation.
Thank
Good
you.
Good luck. Bye-bye.
Good luck to you all.
Bye.
Yeah, definitely. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.